This is Nvda. Here are your price targets for Thursday. We ended the day at $125.20. To the north side from where we are takes us to resistance and a potential take profit area at roughly 127.89. Above that, 129.42 and 130.84. VWAP in the blue line takes us to 125.26. So very close to where we ended for the day. And below that, a gap forms to the south side, 122.57, -2 standard deviations, and another level of support and a potential buy-in area as well, 121.94. The gap closes out to the south side at 120.92. The other target to watch out for, 120.45, and at -4 standard deviations, roughly 118.91. And note the gaps to the south side that are a threat to our account. This one closes out at 116.49, and we are going in an upward channel, so keep that in mind, and possibly moving farther away from this one. And then this gap takes us down to 110, and this gap didn't touch right here, so this one is also still in play. That will take us to 106.48. We've been steadily climbing since the stock split. My neighbor is thrilled. I spoke to him and he owns Nvda and is very happy with his account. And I'm thrilled with my Aapl account. Let's go over this one. We ended the day at 1307. Oops. Let me reset that. To the north side from where we are takes us to VWAP at 215.84. The middle of the trend takes us back to 216.69. The upper channel there. And then at 2 standard deviations, roughly 224.68. 228.59 and 232.77. To the south side, roughly 208.77, 204.94, and $200.72. This stock has also been running the last few days. It's been fantastic. We hit a 52-week high today of 220.20. And that lines up over here that I've talked about before. Let me switch this to the 15-minute time frame so you can see. Actually, I can't even go back. Oh, there we go. This was, let me make this bigger, a previous price target here. Oops. That I marked out. Oh, let me just take this to the, I meant the daily. So I wrote the high, the average high was excuse me, 185.21, 240 for the high, the low 120. But for whatever reason, I marked this out at 220. Anyway, that was a target area and we hit that. And I recently did a breakdown on the 11th where the price target was 203. And we hit that as well the last few days. The price target is now 275. That's going to take a long time to get there, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it will. What is the news here? Apple had been on track for much of Wednesday's session to reclaim title of largest U.S. company at the close. Microsoft's reign as the largest U.S. company by market cap is safe for another session. So of course it couldn't stay up where it was. Apple can never do that. That's the thing with Apple. It always gives up steam. And This is the first time it's run so much in so many days that I can remember, but it was very exciting to see. So obviously we hit resistance and we started to fall. And I will anticipate a bounce off of that. But we've got gaps to the south side to watch out for. And it could be buying opportunities for some of you. Not for me because it's too high. Take off the magnet. So that could take us down to 188.90, 188.19. This one, 184.75. And this is still a threat to our account as well. We've got a small gap within a bigger gap. That will take us down to roughly 173.15. And that's where I typically find Apple. It always gives it up. And note the RSI turning down, still going down on the 5-minute. Excuse me, my cough has come back. And the next one I want to go over is Orcl. I'm going to show you really quickly. All these lines were gaps that I was tracking to the upside. And once all of these gaps filled, I stopped tracking it in my gap and go trades. But I'm thrilled with this today. It was an incredible run. Now on to Orcl. We ended the day at 140.38 to the north side, takes us to roughly 144.95, 149.28, 153.39. And the middle of the trend takes us back to 136.25, 127.87. This gap lines up roughly at -4 standard deviations. I'll anticipate a bounce off of that as well, 123.82. And below that, 119.47. Now I know I've looked at Orcl in the past. Let's go to the daily. So I've looked at it, 103, 105, 109, 114. Marat also helped me track this at some point in the past. Back roughly January of 2022. Wow, that is crazy. Been chugging along here and then selling off at resistance, buy back at support, sell off at resistance, and then making our way, grinding up slowly. Now, the next one I want to check out is Exelon. That was in my gap and go trades in the past as well. All these gaps closed to the upside, so then I stopped tracking it. But on the daily, since I'm here, I'll just give you some targets to the north side, back at 35.44, 38.37, and to the south side, 32.51. Note the RSI shooting straight down. And when you go from different time frames, TradingView gets wonky. Let me reset this. Actually, it's just easier for me to delete it and put it back. All right, to the north side from where we are takes us to roughly 34.89. VWAP is at 35.24. The middle of the trend is now 35.47, 36.02, 36.30, and 36.59. I'm going to flip this back to Apple and show you one other thing I forgot. So this is the 5-minute time frame. When I looked at this on June 7th, we were at 196.89, grinding sideways fell down, saw the bounce at support. This was the middle of the trend when I was looking at it, this blue line. And I commented about the 1-year price target, but then I drew it out the following day of the 11th, or whatever day here, because I look at these charts but don't make videos, obviously. And now, so this was the middle of the trend when I looked at it on the 7th. Now the middle of the trend is right, here's the price, is right about there. Let me change the color. So this is now the middle of the trend. So I think price for a while will range between here. That's my prediction. And that does it for me. That's a look at Nvda, Apple, Oracle, and Exelon. Have a great trading day.